A cash-in-transit robbery took place in Mahikeng where Detective Warrant Officer Deline Grobler, Kuonen, 44 years, and Detective Warrant Officer Wynand Herbs, 42 years, of the DPCI Tactical Operations Section, peace upon them, were fatally wounded. The armed gang shot and forced a cash security van off the road and attempted to blow it open and stole firearms. When the members from the National Intervention Unit approached the suspects, they fled, which resulted in a high-speed chase. Members of the DPCI were alerted to be on the lookout for the vehicle in question. Follow-up operations, which included the South African Police Service Special Task Force, continued. Later in the day, the suspects were cornered at a total garage near Kolik, where the SAPS Special Task Force engaged the suspects in exchange of gunfire, which resulted in the arrest of 2 suspects and the fatal wounding of 3. In the process, 3 AK-47 rifles, 2 pistols, 86 ammunition rounds, and 2 vehicles were seized. An investigation continued. Additional suspects were arrested, bringing the total number of suspects to 9. Solomon Ngubeni, Jabulani Moses Siyika, Musa Mkavela, Terefe Demisi, Edgar Marule, Simpuem Sibi, Jabulani Sibisi, Umpile Maswabi, and Tuso Tsebo Lobele. They made their appearances in court facing charges of murder, attempted murder, premeditated murder, possession of firearms, possession of ammunition, and possession of explosives, as well as malicious damage to property. On the 17th of February 2023, Yika was sentenced to 30 years imprisonment by the Northwest High Court sitting in Mabato. The matter against the other accused was remanded between the 12th to the 15th of June 2023 for trial. As we speak, the matter is on trial today. It started on the 12th in Mabato. We hope that the evidence that is being presented will convince the court that the individuals need to be answering and dealt with effectively. In case number 6, cash in transit guard sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. On the 28th of October 2019, an armed robbery took place on Fidelity Guards inside the Batu Plaza there in Soshanguve. This happened just after they had serviced an ATM at Capitec Bank. A meticulous investigation by the Hawk Serious Organized Crime Investigation resulted in the arrest of 5 suspects, namely John Mafolo, Paul Patrick Sekalelo, Debo Abraham Leodlela, and the 3 former Fidelity Guards. Those that I have just read are all former Fidelity Guards. And July Mkachwa, as well as the late Ernest Lisiba, that was famously known as Wire. Between February and March 2022, the case against Mafolo, Sekaulelo, and Mukachwa were finalized with sentences of imprisonment ranging between 10 to 39 years, respectively. On the 24th of March 2023, the last accused, Leo Dlela, who has been in custody since his arrest on the 30th of October 2019, was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment by the Soshanguve magistrate for an armed robbery. In case number 7, businessman sentenced for 2.6 million Eskom fraud. During November 2013, ESCOM employees Nwabisa Ngola and Cinderella Morobani colluded with Michael Chimanzi, 56 years old, the sole director of Chimanzi Investment, and submitted fraudulent invoices to ESCOM for services which were never rendered. Fraudulent transactions were channeled to Chimanzi Investment business account, which prejudiced ESCOM to the actual loss of 2.6 million. Arrest was effected in 2018. On the 1st of March 2023, Chimanzi was found guilty and sentenced by the Nelspruit Specialized Commercial Crimes Court for fraud, theft, and money laundering. During the sentencing, the court took into consideration that Chimanzi already spent 4 years in custody. Furthermore, the accused showed remorse and pleaded guilty from the beginning without wasting the state resources. Chimanzi was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment, wholly suspended for 5 years. The trial of Nwabisa Ngola and Cinderella Morobani, who pleaded not guilty, was separated from that of Chimanzi. The case against the two was postponed to May 2023 for sentencing, and their bail was extended. Although this date is outside the reporting time, it is worth mentioning that Ngola has been sentenced to 24 years imprisonment on 103 counts, while the case of Morobani is postponed to the 29th of June 2023 for sentencing. In case number 8, 87 illegal miners shares 696 years imprisonment. On the 20th of October 2021, 87 illegal miners were arrested during a multidisciplinary operation led by the Hawk Serious Organized Crime Investigation, assisted by the Special Task Force and the District Illicit Mining Task Team at Shaft 2 in Orkney. The operation was a culmination of months of surveillance after the illegal miners took control of a dormant shaft. During the operation, a shootout between the police and the illegal miners ensued, resulting in 6 illegal miners being fatally wounded and 8 injured. Illegal mining paraphernalia, gold-bearing material, 2 minibuses, 11 firearms, that is 3 rifles, 3 shotguns, 4 pistols, and 1 revolver. About 4,000 cartridges of ammunition and bags of food were also seized. All the accused remained in custody since their arrest. On the 28th of March 2023, the accused were arraigned on charges of robbery with aggravating circumstances and convicted after a choice of no contest plea. On the 30th of March 2023, the 87 accused were sentenced to equally share a combined 696 years imprisonment when they appeared before the Stilfontein Regional Court. We will recall that there are other set of criminals that were arrested where a plethora of AK-47 have been seized. The same group are appearing in that regional court. We expect that they shall equally receive effective sentences should they be convicted. In case number 9, fraudster sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. Between 2009 and 2019, Zakaria Fayed, 49, was employed as an accountant. he fraudulently transferred cash from the company bank account to his personal account. As a result, the company suffered a financial loss of more than 7 million rands. A case of fraud was reported at Sydenham Police Station, and the docket was allocated to the Hawks members from Durban Serious Commercial Crime Investigation. Fayed was arrested in October 2020 and released on 10,000 rand bail. He appeared several times in court until he pleaded guilty in August 2022. On the 27th of March 2023, on the 27th of March 2023, Durban Regional Court sentenced Fayed to 15 years direct imprisonment for 93 counts of fraud. In the 10th case, trio to share 33 years imprisonment for fraud. During the 2011, Grace Magoga, 46 years old, a former deputy director at the Department of Land and Rural Development, fraudulently issued an appointment letter to a service provider, Thandi Mdawe of Sadia Trading, who did not tender documents to render any services to the department. The company received an undue payment of 2,950,000 rand for services that were never rendered. Mdawe and a business partner, Zenzel Mkwango, 52, were later instructed by Magoga to make a cash withdrawal, followed by a couple of electronic transfers to another company. Further cash demands were also made by Skumbu Zonkosi, 45 years old, the husband of Tumagoga. The Hawks Serious Commercial Crime Investigation Team based in Nelspruit investigated the matter, which resulted in the arrest of 4 accused persons. Mdawe entered into a plea and a sentence agreement with the state, and she was given a suspended sentence in 2018. On the 20th of January 2023, Magoga, Mwango, and Nkosi were found guilty and each sentenced by the Nelspruit Regional Court to 10 years imprisonment, of which 3 years is suspended for fraud. They were further sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for money laundering. The trio will each serve an effective 10 years imprisonment. In case number 11, hefty fine for contravention of Tax Administration Act. Between 1996 and 2019, after the commencement of the Value Added Tax VAT Act of 1991, Haugen Weng, as the sole director of Weng Wuang Bottle Store, was liable to register for VAT but failed to do so. He commenced with running of the business instead. The South African Revenue Service, through its forensic investigation, detected the discrepancy and lodged a complaint with the East London Serious Commercial Crime Investigation Team of the Hawks for further investigations. The investigation revealed that SARS was prejudiced cash to the value of more than 11.5 million rands. On the 22nd of September 2022, Weng was arrested. After a series of court appearances, he was finally convicted and sentenced on the 23rd of March 2023 to a fine of 100,000 rand, or to undergo 24-month imprisonment, of which half is suspended for 3 years on conditions. In the 12th case, fraudster sentenced to 22 years imprisonment. In March 2010, Penelope Tlengwe Khumalo, 46 years, a former employee of SARS, assisted VAT vendors to complete and submit fraudulent returns with the aim to receive undue refunds from SARS. SARS suffered an actual loss of 550,000 rands. On the 28th of February 2023, Khumalo was found guilty by the Nelspruit Specialized Commercial Crime Courts and sentenced to 14 years combined imprisonment on 4 counts of fraud and 8 years collective imprisonment on 2 counts of corruption. Khumalo will effectively serve 10 years imprisonment without an option of a fine. In case number 13, 4 accused sentenced on immigration law. During 2021 and 2022, an official of the Department of Home Affairs allegedly colluded with the South African citizens to assist foreign nationals from Pakistan and Bangladesh to obtain South African passports using their names in the documents. The foreign nationals fraudulently replaced the owner's photos with their own photos and assumed the names of South Africans. Faud Mohammed Ali, 37 years, Christopher Marilia, 39 years, Gabriel Samuel van der Merwe, 33, Sifiso Keswat, 31 years, were arrested by the Hawks Serious Commercial Crime Investigation of Middleburg. On the 28th of February 2023, the 4 accused were sentenced by the White River Magistrate Court for fraud and corruption relating to Immigration Act. They were each sentenced to 100,000 rand fine or 3 years imprisonment for charges relating to contravention of the Immigration Act. They further received 40,000 fine or 12 months imprisonment each. The case against Nhlanhla Matebula, 40 years old, a former Home Affairs official, is postponed to the 11th to the 13th of September 2023 for trial. In case number 14, the public servant sentenced 75 years for fraud. During the period between the 1st of May 2008 and the 15th of September 2009, as Kalekazi Matiolo, a senior administration clerk from the Department of Justice and Correctional Service, who was attached to Human Resource Section, was charged with the responsibility of facilitating redeployment, implementing relocation costs, furniture removal, and resettlements of the existing government employees that were appointed to other posts within the department. On discovering some discrepancies that were happening, where even new employees were paid relocation cost and resettlement benefits, the department lodged a complaint with the East London-based Serious Commercial Crime Investigation Team of the Hawks in December 2010. It was established that the requested invoices from service providers for removal of furniture for the employees who relocated to different districts around the Eastern Cape and Free State. She processed the quotations and invoices for the removal of the furniture to the department for payment, which were approved and paid. She then instructed the service providers to withdraw the money and hand it over to her. It later transpired that the service providers never even rendered the services. The department was prejudiced cash to the value of more than 113,000 rands. On the 4th of July 2012, Macholo was arrested and released on warning. She subsequently made several court appearances until a conviction on the 2nd of February 2022. The matter was remanded several times before his sentencing on the 10th of February 2023. She was sentenced to 5 years on each of the 15 counts of fraud, making a combined total of 75 years. But all counts ran concurrently, which means that she shall serve 5 years imprisonment. In case number 15, accused get 15 years for stealing 3 million rands from Nedbank. On the 11th of April 2018, Welcome Marcus, 55 years, and his accomplice were dressed in security uniform when they went into Nedbank branch at Anderson Street there in Klerksdorp, and indicated that they were there to collect money. They then collected an amount of 3 million rand and left the bank. It was only after they had left that the bank official realized that the pair were bogus security officials. The matter was reported to the Hawks and probed by the Serious Organized Crime Investigation. The investigation led to the arrest of the pair in Johannesburg on the 13th of May 2018. They made their first appearance in court facing charges of theft and were each released on 30,000 rand bail. The case was later dropped against the second accused, Marcus. The second accused, while the first accused, Marcus, made several court appearances. He was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 15 years imprisonment by the Stilfontein Regional Court, which happened on the 11th of January 2023. In case number 16, illicit cigarette smuggler fined 1 million rands. During September 2022, Limpopo Highway Patrol members stopped a suspicious truck driving on the N1 road near Udogwa. The truck was searched and boxes containing illicit cigarette with the value of 1.7 million were found and seized. Patisani Kumalo, the driver, Victor Sitole, the passenger, were arrested, and the Hawk Serious Commercial Crime Investigation members were summoned to the scene to take over the investigation. As the investigation progressed, it was established that the consignment were destined for Gauteng province. Kumalo was charged with contravention of the Customs and Excise Act, while Sitole was charged for contravening the Immigration Act. The accused were kept in custody as their bail was successfully opposed. On the 8th of February 2023, the duo pleaded guilty and they were sentenced by the Polokwane Specialized Commercial Crimes Court. Kumalo was sentenced to 1 million rand fine and also declared unfit to possess a firearm, while Sitole was fined 5,000 rand or 2 years imprisonment. In case number 17, fraudster sentenced for fraudulent investment scam. Between 2006 and 2009, Maria Magdalena Trivov Rowe, 57 years, operated an unregistered investment scheme and recruited several people to invest money with her company. Multiple complainants deposited an all-inclusive 3.2 million into the bank account, hoping for profit. None of them received their interest nor their invested capital as promised. The matter was reported to the Klerksdorp-based Serious Commercial Crime Investigation of the Hawks, and she was later served with summons to appear in court. The matter has been at court since the 20th of January 2020. On the 16th of January 2023, Trevorrow pleaded guilty on 20 counts of fraud and contravention of the Banks Act that were preferred against her. She was sentenced by the Klerksdorp Regional Court to 10 years imprisonment, wholly suspended for 5 years with several conditions. In case number 18, former municipal worker sentenced for fraud. Between January 2011 and December 2016, ghost workers were created at Solplaik municipality in Kimberley. Various bank accounts which belonged to people not employed by the municipality were used by the municipal official to defraud the municipality. An investigation was conducted by the Hawks Serious Commercial Crime Investigation members, which uncovered that Beauty Kilelo, 42 years, had captured and authorized suspicious salary payments. As a result, the municipal suffered a loss of 778,864.54 cents. The accused was relieved of her duties after an internal investigation. On the 17th of February 2023, Gilolo was sentenced by the Kimberley Commercial Crimes Court to 16 years imprisonment, wholly suspended for 5 years for fraud and money laundering. She was also ordered to repay the whole 778,864.54 cents lost by the municipality. She was further sentenced to house arrest at the address to be determined by the Commissioner of Correctional Service and to 16 hours per month of community service. Crime does not pay. In case number 19, Chinese national sentenced for rhino horns. Between 2018 and 2019, Ping Hu, 49 years, and her partner Eugene Huang were involved in illegal activities relating to rhino poaching in Mpumalanga. The duo were arrested in August 2019 by the Middleburg-based Hawks Serious Organized Crime Investigation Team in a project-driven investigation addressing rhino horn syndicates operating between Mpumalanga and Gauteng provinces. Ping Hu was charged on money laundering for depositing the proceeds of the rhino horns transaction into a casino account. She was sentenced in March 2022 by the Tembisa Regional Court. Huang died in prison before the conclusion of the trial. A forfeiture order was granted in March 22 for the money paid to the agent, as well as money in the casino account, as well as the 2 vehicles. On the 20th of January 2023, Xiu Hao Chen, 57, was found guilty on 3 counts of illegal dealing in rhino horns and contravention of the Immigration Act when he appeared in the Kempton Park Regional Court. He was sentenced on the 4th of April 2023 to 500,000 rands or 5 years imprisonment for dealing in rhino horns. His vehicle, a Volkswagen Tiguan, valued at 400,000, was forfeited to the state. He was further sentenced to 2 years imprisonment without the option of a fine for 2 counts of contravening of Immigration Act. The court also ordered that he must be deported to China after serving his sentence. Crime does not pay. Coming to the cases of arrests, case number 20, suspect arrested for stealing from Eskom. In 2021, Eskom Tutuka Power Station issued an order to Umnandi Conference and catering for the purchase and delivery of 2 containers. The company colluded with Zandile Rosemary Ngobo, 43 years, an Eskom employee, and invoiced Eskom an amount of 939,550 rands. This was done without purchasing and delivering of the containers. Payment was done. 3 Eskom officials, Jessica Kubeka, 61, Solomon Twala, 59, and Nomsasibia, 49, were arrested by Standerton detectives before the case was transferred to the Hawks for further investigation. On the 15th of February 2023, Annemari Stander, 55, was arrested by the Middleburg-based Hawks Serious Corruption Investigation Team for fraud, theft, and money laundering. Although it is not falling within the reporting period, Ngobo was arrested on the 10th of May 2023. The duo have been granted 5,000 rand bail each. The case against all 5 accused is postponed to the 25th of August 2023 at Middleburg Specialized Commercial Crimes Court for pre-trial conference. In case number 21, illegal mining kingpin appeared in court. On the 22nd of February 2023, the Hawks Serious Organized Crime Investigation of Limpopo executed a warrant of arrest on a suspected illegal mining kingpin, Sheng Liang Tom, 48 years, at Northam. He appeared the following day at Northam Magistrates Court on charges of illegal mining activities in the Northam area. This arrest follows the one effected on the 3rd of August 2022, where Hawks arrested 4 suspected illegal miners, Tsebo Mugadile, Dibuo Muloi, Pepisile Mukabela, and Lerado Magwejea, who were found in possession of chrome that was loaded in a truck without a permit. The chrome was valued at 1.2 million rands. A thorough investigation was conducted, and it was revealed that the chrome was destined for China, where Tom was a buyer. The case is remanded to the 12th of July 2023 for pre-trial conference. It is not only the illegal miners that are being arrested, also the kingpins are followed. In case number 22, additional arrest in the 103 million rand ABSA IT heist case. Between the 22nd of September 2021 and the 31st of December 2021, ABSA IT specialist Mr. Kolela Masebeni allegedly siphoned 103 million rands from the bank. Kolela was arrested together with his wife, Atembile Mpani, and her mother. On the 16th of January 2023, the Johannesburg-based Hawks Serious Commercial Crime Investigation Team arrested Ayanda Ventfuel, who is attached to Paulsmoor Correctional Facility in more than 100 million ABSA fraud case, as I have indicated. Ventfuel was arrested when the trail of 250,000 rand that went into his account was followed. This arrest brings the total number of people charged in this case to 19. This include Nonelwa Nonhlazi, Nolita, Constant Mpani, Kumbulan Elvis Ntombela, Gershon Matomani, Tandiwe, Penelope Mpahlele, Sipiwe Msomi, Papamani Sitwe, Sipiwe Magobiani, Sikelo Ndebele, Lindani Mchali, Melusa, Mchalela, Belinda, Mchalela, Ayanda Ventfuel, Thoma Foreman, Non-Tombeko, Bezwani, and others. This include the Maduna Gebezu trading services that will be charged. Masebeni was killed in Ezbeleni in February 2022. The case on this matter is postponed to the 28th of June 2023 at Johannesburg Specialized Commercial Crime Court for disclosure. In case number 23, 10 accused set for pre-trial conference. During November and December 2021, Gilibuile Dadotsi, 27 years, and Hotswaneji Adora, 37 years, who are the former employees of Standard Bank, were working together with Michael Sayers and Ashley Michael, young man, Brian Odora, Ellen Mahlulo, Tugiso Musigili, Stembiso Gerald Tleza, Siabonga Ngwenya, and Bolela Lesale, when they fraudulently accessed bank account of 3 clients of Standard Bank. Several transfers were made from 3 victims' accounts without their knowledge. As a result, Standard Bank was prejudiced and suffered a loss of 26,181,000 rand, of which 7,726,000 was recovered. A case was reported to the Hawks Serious Commercial Crime Investigation Team of Bloemfontein for further investigation. The first 7 accused were arrested between December 2021 and October 2022, and were later granted bail ranging between 500 rands and 10,000 rands. On the 16th of February 2023, Sayers and the young men handed themselves to the Hawks in Bloemfontein. They briefly appeared at Bloemfontein Magistrate Court on charges of fraud, where they were granted 10,000 rand bail each. On the 2nd of March 2023, the Asset Forfeiture Investigation Section of the Hawks, working with the Asset Forfeiture Unit of the NPA, obtained a preservation order to the value of 703,600 rand cash and a Mercedes-Benz CLA sport vehicle. Ngwenya was arrested on the 29th of May 2023, which is falling outside this reporting period. The case against all 10 accused is postponed to the 13th of July 2023 at Free State High Court, which is sitting in Bloemfontein. This is set for pre-trial conference. In case number 24, businesswoman in court for 17 million rand tax fraud. A businesswoman, Matlaguja Kwalini Lukwabe, 52 years, appeared in the Pretoria Specialized Commercial Crimes Court on the 1st of March 2023, where she was released on 10,000 rand bail. Lukwabe was arrested by the Hawks Serious Economic Offences Investigation Team. This follows an extensive investigation into the allegations of fraud, alternatively contravention of the Tax Administration Act. It is alleged that between March 2015 and February 2019, the accused failed to submit income tax return in relation to her business entity, Titan E Services, where she is the sole director. The SARS suffered an actual loss of 17 million rand. The Asset Forfeiture Unit is applying for a preservation order of assets belonging to Lekwabe. The case itself is postponed to the 14th of July 2023. In case number 25, the head of Department for Finance in court for 15 million tender fraud. Between July 2011 and August 2011, the Department of Finance appointed a firm of attorneys to conduct disciplinary proceedings on 3 senior officials. The acting head of the Department of Finance in the Northwest Province, who was the accounting officer at the time, allegedly contravened the Public Finance Management Act by approving a request for deviation from the competitive bidding process and expanded the scope of service required. He allegedly further disregarded a cheaper quotation and failed to take appropriate steps to prevent an unauthorized, irregular, and wasteful expenditures to the tune of 15.5 million rands. On the 28th of March 2028, Gio Paul, 61 years old, who is former acting head of the department, was arrested and appeared before the Mabatu Magistrate Court on 2 counts of contravening the PFMA. The case is postponed to the 21st of August 2023 for the outcome of the representation that have been submitted to the NPA. In case number 26, municipal officials and director are charged for corruption. Between November 2011 and September 27, JVR Construction CC, owned by Jonathan Van Roy, was contracted by the City of Cape Town to perform construction on maintenance of roads in and around Cape Town. It is alleged that Van Roy paid Brett Lucas 47 and Kuos Meller 52, attached to Water and Sanitation Division within the City of Cape Town, in order for them to fast-track tender processes. Forensic and financial investigation revealed that there were invoices that were backdated in order to facilitate payments to the corporation for services rendered. The potential loss amount to approximately 46 million rand. In February 2023, 3 persons, Lucas, Van Roy, and Meller, and a juristic person were arrested and secured by the serious corruption investigation members in Cape Town on fraud and corruption. The accused appeared in court and were released on bail. The matter is postponed to the 17th of July 2023 at Belleville Specialized Commercial Crime Court for further particulars. In case number 27, 16 suspects arrested for SASSA fraud. Individuals from the Eastern Cape and Western Cape submitted fraudulent medical documents to apply for disability grants at SASSA offices in Mammelsbury. They were assisted by the suspect within and outside the SASSA environment. SASSA suffered a loss of more than 1.8 million rands due to these fraudulent payments of grants. A case was reported to the Hawks Serious Corruption Investigation in April 2022. Between the 13th and the 14th of February 2023, 15 suspects were arrested by the DPCI. They were also released on 1,000 rand bail at court. Patricia Smallpox, the 16th suspect, was arrested and appeared at Mammelsbury Magistrate Court on the 13th of April 2023, where she was released on 50,000 rand bail. The case is postponed to the 14th of August 2023 for further investigation. In case number 28, the CFO of Lebeya local municipality arrested for corruption. It is alleged that a business person applied for a tender that was advertised by the municipality to provide road construction machines. While waiting for the announcement of the winner of the tender, he received a meeting request from Lebeya local municipality chief financial officer to discuss the tender that he applied for. In the meeting, the official told the business person that the company got the tender, but he had to pay 30,000 rands. The matter was reported to the Hawks Serious Corruption Investigation members based in Bulugwane, and subsequently an undercover operation was conducted. The transaction took place in a vehicle near a restaurant in Bulugwane. During the weekend of the 21st January 2023, the Hawks Serious Corruption Investigation members arrested Kumuzo Manka, 33 years old, in Bulugwane for allegedly tender corruption. Although she attempted to flee when she saw the Hawks, her attempt was futile as she was chased, cornered, and arrested before she could disappear in the streets of Bulugwane. The undue gratification that she received, as well as the vehicle that was used in the commission of the alleged offense, were confiscated. Sibilwane Mpofela, who is the head of technical services and the councillor, was also arrested. The accused appeared at court and were granted a bail of 10,000 rand each. The case is postponed to the 31st of July for further investigation. In case number 29, 5 arrested over 30 million rands of illicit cigarettes. On the 25th of February 2023, the Hawks Serious Commercial Crime Investigation in Limpopo received a tip-off about illicit cigarettes that were kept at a farm between Musina and the Beitbridge port of entry, waiting to be transported to different destinations in the country. A multidisciplinary sting operation by the Hawks, SABC, South African National Defence Force, and SARS was immediately conducted. When the team arrived at the identified farm, they found a truck and a tractor, a trailer loaded with suspected illicit cigarettes that were covered with bricks pallets. A preliminary investigation led to the discovery of a van and another truck in the vicinity that were also fully loaded with suspected illicit cigarettes. The value of the seized illicit cigarettes is over 30 million rands. 5 suspects, including Manuel Mpepu, Moses Matembuza, Asiote Rambuani, Pumuzo Rambuani, and Gibson Mataka, were arrested for contravening the Custom and Excise Act, and they appeared in the Musina Magistrate Court, where they were granted 5,000 rand bail each. That is in the exception of Gibson Mataka and Moses Matembuze. The case itself is postponed to the 27th of June 2023 for plea. In case number 33, suspects arrested for kidnapping. In January 2023, a 25-year-old victim from Botswana came to buy a motor vehicle that was advertised online. He was picked up by an e-hailing vehicle from Durban station to an unknown location where he was held against his will. The suspects drove around withdrawing cash from the victim's bank account. They then phoned his family in Botswana and demanded more cash. The Hawks members from Durban Serious Organized Crime Investigation received information about the incident and swiftly conducted an operation. On Thursday, the 26th January 2023, suspects were intercepted by the Hawks in police action, and 3 suspects who are Abuile Mtlatlo, 28, Mkolisi Mugenge, 32, and Nhlangani Pongobesi, 22, were arrested for kidnapping. The victim was rescued unharmed. The accused appeared in court, and 2 of them were granted bail, and 1 is still in custody. The case is postponed to the 29th of June in Durban Magistrates Court. In case number 31, 2 more suspects in custody for 400 million rands of cocaine. On the 4th of August 2022, an operation was conducted by the Hawks, assisted by crime intelligence gathering and the Western Cape traffic officials on the N1 highway, where a truck was intercepted. Cocaine worth more than 400 million rands was recovered in the false compartment of the wooden boards. Ibrahim Kara, 39 years, Mishak Muzungezi Ngobisi, 47 years, and Ilyas Radebe, 42 years, were arrested. They were charged for dealing in drugs, and they have been in custody since their arrest. They appeared in Khayelitsha Regional Court on the 17th of February 2023. In addition to the 3 mentioned above, on the 13th of February, the Hawks, South African Narcotics Enforcement Bureau, SANEP, assisted by Crime Intelligence, CIG, executed warrants of arrest on Ibrahim Felix, 45, and Maherman Stanley, 43 years. The case against all 5 accused is now remanded to the 19th of June for pre-trial conference. The case number 32, suspect charged for fraudulent qualifications. On the 13th of February 2023, the Hawks members from Pietermaritzburg Serious Commercial Crime Investigation arrested Mulekeleli Masondo, 40 years old, for 2 counts of fraud, which happened at the office of the Premier in KwaZulu-Natal. It is alleged that the suspect applied for a project manager's post in 2010 and submitted fraudulent qualifications. He was employed, and in 2019, he further applied for a deputy director's post, and he was appointed in that post. The Department of Public Service and Administration, DPSA, conducted qualification verification, and the suspect failed to submit the original documents as requested. It was discovered that his qualifications were fraudulent and disciplinary steps were instituted against him. The office of the Premier was defrauded an amount of 3,720,000 rands. And a case of fraud was reported at Pietermaritzburg Police Station. The case docket was allocated to the Hawks members for further investigation, hence he was charged on the 13th of February 2023. He appeared in the Pietermaritzburg Regional Court on the 16th of March 2023. The case is now postponed to 29 June 2023 for further particulars. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, fellow South African, the DPCI shall execute its work without fear, favor or prejudice as the law of the Republic dictates. I thank you.
Thank you very much, General Lebeya. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we're ready now to take questions. Dakalan will assist with the questions that will be posted through social media. Can we start for the questions in-house by show of hands? Okay. Two. Okay, can you start with the lady here? Just identify yourself and the media you're from, then pose a question. Thank you.
Morning, it's Shoni Sani from Times Live. General Lebeya, I just want to find out what is the latest updates in regards to the Parapara matter. The last update you gave was that about 126 statements were collected. So I just want to find out how far are those investigations and when should we expect that they would be completed. There's also been allegations that the Hawks are dragging feet in terms of prioritizing state capture matters. Can you kindly respond to the allegations?
Thank you. The gentleman over there.
Ziniko Mhlaba from Newsroom Africa. I just want to get a sense of are there any ongoing investigations in relation to ESCOM matters, especially when it comes to the former Director, and also when it comes to my colleague has covered me on the Pala matter and the ESCOM issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's Khomoza Modise from Eyewitness News. I just wanted to ask, please, Lebeya, just for more details on the White Boy Trust investigation. It's been 2 years of an investigation. Can you just give us whatever details came out of it? Are we saying the trust didn't exist? What did we unravel in that investigation? And then could you please confirm whether Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane has or her matter and her claims around the now deceased MP Tina Joemat-Peterson, whether those claims are being investigated. She said the Hawks are looking into the matter. Can you confirm that and maybe give a bit of details around that investigation at all? And then just to hop on to my colleague's question, Shoni, around the state capture investigations. The allegations are that, and I don't think they're allegations, I think that they've gathered from what you were, the presentation in Parliament yesterday, the low conviction rates. Can you just clarify how many convictions there have been and how many investigations are ongoing with regards to that? I don't know if I should ask more or wait for the next round.
You can wait for the next round.
Should I wait for the next round?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Takalani, are there any from social media?
Thank you, Brigadier. Maybe before the questions on online, there's also a hand behind Khumuzo. Maybe you did not recognize her because she's a little bit far.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you take that lady?
Hi, it's Nosipo Khadebe from Kai News. Sorry, my colleagues had asked the questions that I wanted. I wanted the update on the ESCOM investigations that
fact that there is a low rate of conviction maybe is a misunderstanding of what you call conviction rate. I hear from time to time people talking about the conviction rate. Unless you understand the formula, you'll always make that mistake that the conviction rate is low. We have finalized 2 cases from the state capture, and all of them have resulted in conviction. If you talk rates, you talk 100% conviction rate, because we haven't lost anything. So maybe it's the understanding, the interpretation of what do you mean by conviction rate. The conviction rate, you say what has been finalized at court, what has been lost, what has been won. And then you add the 2, which is a base on which you are working from, and then you multiply by 100 so that you get the percentage. If you do on this one, you'll get 2 out of 2, and when you want to find the rate, you will end up with 100%. So that, I think, is maybe the interpretation of what we are trying to mean by saying conviction rates. I hope that that formula will be utilized going forward. You say, if you want to know the conviction rate, you say convicted plus acquitted divided by conviction plus acquittal multiply by 100 divided by 1. That you get that percentage. That is what you call the conviction rate. On the issue of the matters reported by Mr. Director, that has been on the media space, as well as questions in Parliament and the like, we have indicated that there are 2 matters that we are working on. The matter that Mr. Director is the complainant. We are investigating those allegations. And the matter where another member of the public have reported, which the allegation is that Mr. Director maybe have got something that he may have to answer. So those are the 2 areas that we have hinted on. So there was this issue of reports that were supposed to be available that could assist in the investigation. The last appearance in the portfolio committee, the Deputy Minister of Police have indicated that we have finally received a report, which is during this month. We have finally received the report, and then we are going through those. And we also compare notes with what we already had, that we were already conducting several investigations. During my main brief, I have hinted some of the arrests that we have done in ESCOM space. So those are not the limited cases, but there is a variety of those that if you have checked the report we submitted in Parliament, we hinted on those number of investigation. So there are cases where arrests have already been effected, people are serving before courts. There are matters where the individuals have already been sentenced, which I have highlighted. So otherwise the investigation relating to ESCOM is continuing. You also know of the case of Mr. Tagudi. That is on the court roll. We have hinted that we are waiting for the extradition of another one who's hiding in another country to come and join on the court roll, so that that particular matter can also be finalized. It's a number of these cases that we are dealing with relating to ESCOM. The 4th question of the White Boy Spiritual Trust, I haven't dealt with the details because maybe the complainant might also wish to be dealing more with that when requested to do so. But from our side, I have just indicated that after various engagement, approaching whoever need to be approached, organization, be it Interpol, be it individuals outside the country, be it International Police Association, which is not an international police organization. We have approached the entities that need to be approached in order to get an understanding of precisely what have gone wrong. Colleagues are also invited to go to internet and check and read for yourself so that when you come to engage on questions, you understand what is this spiritual white boy trust, or several names that might be coming and the different accounts that are listed there. I think that the individual will understand. So all what we say that at this stage we have filed as unsubstantiated. If there is substance that come at a later stage, it means that we can still pursue. But at this stage, it's not substantiated. That is how we have concluded that investigation. Coming to the issue of the investigation as lodged by the public protector, indeed, we can say that we are investigating the complaint that has been lodged by the public protector with regard to the allegation of corruption. That matter is being handled by our Howden DPCI. There are certain investigations that we are pursuing. We have worked with the prosecutors, and then we have approached the court to get certain authorities to do certain things. But I will not be unpacking how we conduct our investigation, but we are working on that. So you can understand that this is a new matter, and we have got to systematically search for the truth, which is the science that we deploy when we conduct the investigation. That matter is receiving attention. But obviously I have listened carefully to the question which has included the investigation of bribery. I just want to help South Africans that we no longer have got the crime of bribery. Bribery was a common law crime that we used until 1992, when the lawmakers in the Republic decided to repeal that one and make a legislation in terms of the statute. So from that time, it became a statutory offense in 1992. So that is how we have changed the name of bribery as a crime, because that one remained a common law crime. But in South Africa, we have repealed the common law crime and replace it with the statutory offense. And that statutory offense, you'll know, it was amended again in 2004. So we are currently using the 2004 legislation. I know that there will be some confusion because in the poker legislation, you will also be finding the name of foreign bribery. I think that that is where there will be confusion, that we can still call it corruption. But that confusion never arises when the people are prosecuted in court. I just needed to indicate that corruption sufficiently covers all of these activities where some people give and others receive in order not to do what they are expected to be doing. I have already touched on the conviction rate, although it was raised separately. when I was answering the other question of the state capture. The conviction rate to us is acceptable. You shall have also noted when I was talking about the conviction rates in the matters of PPEs that we are working on in the Fusion Center. We are continuously effecting arrest, and as the media will have observed, even yesterday, you were writing about the new arrest that we are effecting in that space. So those who have stolen from that particular environment are also accounting. So 94% conviction rate is, to me, acceptable. I think that colleagues and the South Africans will also appreciate that when a child comes from school with a 94% pass rate, I'm not sure if you will still criticize and say I only accept 100%. Otherwise, those were the questions for the first round. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General. May we take another round, which probably will be the last one? Homoso, you were the first. Any other questions by show of hands? Also, I think
Yes.
it's only Homoso. Then Dakalan will indicate if we've got anything online. Yes, Homoso?
Okay, thank you so much. General, thank you so much for those answers. So you went ahead of me just in the COVID-19 relief cases. Can you give us collated, I don't know if I missed that, a collated figure on those, on any completed investigations with regards to that and any convictions with regards to that? I may have missed that, and if I have, I'm sorry. And then could you please give us an update on Marcus Jooste, please, General? I know the last time we were here, or the last time you gave an update, you had said something to the effect of you were moving really fast, or a lot of progress was being made. I think you were moving with great effort towards finalizing your investigations with regards to Jooste. So can you please give a clear indication of where you are with regards to that? And then, just going through your statement, a lot of the cases that you read, while there was a lot of convictions secured, many of the sentences were suspended. Even with 10-year sentences, I saw one with 10 years of suspended sentences. And are you at all concerned? I know that this is the work of the courts where they will sentence people, but are you at all concerned that after all the work and investigations is done, then these are all suspended sentences and no real or hardly ever any real jail time for people that are convicted of these crimes? I think that's me for now. Okay, it's okay. I will come to the sidelines if I have anything more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Homoso. Anything, Dakalan?
No further questions, Brigadier. Thanks.
Thank you very much, General. Oh, apologies, General.
Sorry for the late hand. On the issues of ESCOM and the public protector, I just want to find out how comfortable are you with the information that has been submitted yet? How credible is it? How credible it is? But also, is it something that you can work on? You think there is really a case to answer, especially in those two cases, the Mkhwebane complaints and the ESCOM matters, especially by the report or the complainant by the public individual? Thank you.
General wants you to repeat the question.
Okay, so my question, General, is based on the credibility of the information that has been submitted to the Hawks on the two cases, the ESCOM matter, specifically by the information handed over or by the complaint submitted by a public individual. And then on the case of the former public protector, how credible, how strong is the information that you guys have?
Thank you very much for the questions. Starting with the issue of COVID-19 cases, we have indicated that information, but you'll understand that the information changes on a daily basis. Like the figure that I'll be giving you is not the latest. As such, I shall have also indicated that by yesterday we also arrested others. So on a regular basis, we continuously effect arrests, and other matters are being finalized. So because our report is on the last quarter, the fourth quarter, we had already finalized 52 matters, and in those are the ones that I say the conviction rate is 94%. So if you look at the previous reports that we have been submitting, the percentage have always been the same, but the figure, the number of accused persons keep on changing. But obviously, when it changes, it all depends how many cases. In total, we have got the last meeting that we had this week, where we are meeting on a regular basis as the National Priority Crime Operational Committee, what you used to know as the Anti-Corruption Task Team. The brief from the team that focuses on this from the Fusion Center had 32 convictions on natural persons and 32 convictions on juristic persons. So you will understand that in this space of PPEs and the like, people have been utilizing companies. It was not only individual, but they were also using companies. The number of arrests itself is more than 100. I do not have the specific figure here, but when we were providing, I think it can take us something 5 minutes to get that report on the computer, but it's more than 100 that we have effected arrest. So each of the cases that we have is always more than one person. So that is the issue of COVID-19 cases. In the matter of that you mentioned, I like to mention Steinhoff matters instead of mentioning the names, but I know you did not mention Steinhoff, you mention individuals. Normally I do not prefer to mention the names of the suspects. I mention them when they have been arrested and appears. But before they do, one does not want to be mentioning the names because we don't know the outcome of the investigation. I like to say that in respect of the Steinhoff matter, that we have previously indicated that there are certain outstanding matters. I can say that the mutual legal assistance from the 7 countries that we are waiting for is still not finalized. So if we finalize that one, we will know how far now we need to go. So we don't know the content of what will come out of the reports from those mutual legal assistance from the 7 countries that we have requested. So while we constantly wish that the results can come, we are not in entire control of that process. In the meantime, we are also finalizing some of the outstanding things in the country, but more importantly is the outcome of the mutual legal assistance reports that we are waiting for. That speaks to the issue of Steinhoff. The issue of the suspended sentence our happiness or otherwise, we normally, most of our focus is investigation, securing the attendance of the accused persons in court, tendering the evidence that is required, including tendering of evidence in aggravation of sentence, which will obviously be responded to by the defense that will also tender their own evidence in extenuating so that they can get a lenient sentence. So there are sentences that are good, which I think that they sent a deterring message, like life sentences and the like. There are those that are obviously suspended, especially when it comes to financial crimes. You find that they will be passing a sentence, but it will be wholly suspended on condition. You will obviously most of the time find that the condition, which we are not reading here because it will make the statement too long, part of the condition mostly is that you pay back what you have stolen, which means that it will be sending a message that crime does not pay. The court obviously exercise its discretion in looking at the reasonable sentence that they need to meet to accused persons. And if you shall have listened to the Minister of Police when he was releasing crime stats and the like, he always remind us that the correctional services facilities are 44% overpopulated. So when the courts mete out sentences, I believe that they also take those type of things into consideration. But as I say, it is not in my space on what happens on the bench. The presiding officials exercise discretion on that one. And ours is just to say that we have done what need to be done, and then in case there is serious unhappiness that the nature of the sentence is shockingly not in line with what the law is expecting, there is also room to appeal those type of sentences. The last question, talking to the ESCOM, the credibility of the information that we should have received in respect of both the ESCOM and the public protector. We don't want to conclude at this statement when we are at this stage when we are assessing the information. We are working on those, and then in time we shall be able to indicate what our finding is. But because we leave no stone unturned, it means that each aspect that is brought to our attention, we will be able to check and assess and see, or is the information credible? Can one be able to take what we have and go to court and have evidence if somebody is prosecuted to be able to prove the allegations beyond reasonable doubt? So those are the questions that when we conduct investigation, we look at. So at this stage, I wouldn't like to rule out the possibility or to analyze as to whether the information is credible or not. And I think those who have provided the information are confident that what they have provided is credible. For us is to work on what they have provided. Let me also use this opportunity to call upon all South Africans, those who may be having information that can assist us in solving some of the crimes that have not been solved, to bring the information to our attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General. We've come to the end of the session. Khumuzo, we will engage so we can give you those figures you requested. Once more, ladies and gentlemen from the media, thank you very much for your support. We will count on your support again when we present the first quarter for this financial year. Thank you very much.
Business to drive 5G and
have been convicted, while in the 13 arrest case suspects are now added to their co-accused on the court roll, which will make 75 accused persons in these 13 cases that we are talking about. This makes an average of 6 accused persons per case. Let me also indicate that the case of White Spiritual Boy Trust that was laid by Dr. Sekwala has now been concluded with the imprisonment for killing police. In KwaZulu-Natal on the 14th of November have been convicted, while in the 13 arrest cases, suspects are now added to their co-accused on the court roll, which will make 75 accused persons in these 13 cases that we are talking about. This makes an average of 6 accused persons per case. Let me also indicate that the case of White Spiritual Boy Trust that was laid by Dr. Sekwala has now been concluded with the allegations being unsubstantiated. Let me start with the cases relating to the convictions that we're talking about. In case number 1, 45 years and life term imprisonment for killing police. In KwaZulu-Natal on the 14th of November 2019, Kwambonani detectives were tracking Pumowake Ndawende, who was sought for house robbery and rape charges. His house was identified and surrounded by the police. When he realized that he was